Okay, so I've cleared up the inventory, I've come over to the tailor inside, I've grabbed some leather, and I've made a leather tunic. Like I said in the previous section, we're not able to reforge things that are made out of spined, horned, barbed, any of the coloured ingots or any of the coloured boards. It has to be the base material, so leather, wood, iron. What we're going to do is we're going to select our horned runic kit, we're going to target the tunic, and it's going to give us a new box. It's going to give us a new option menu. It's going to ask us to choose some properties and then reforge the item. Now you can see at the moment it's going to use one charge. By using one charge, it's just going to give us random mods on the item. They're not going to be very powerful. It can be anything. We might get absolutely anything. We can select powerful, and that'll make things a little bit more powerful. It's going to give us stronger stats on the item, but again, still not going to be very powerful. It's also going to use a second charge. We can select structural reforging. That's going to be even stronger, but the problem with that is it's going to cause the item to be brittle. We can then use fortified reforging, and that would give us extra durability on the item. So by selecting these three, we're now up to 4 charges. Fundamental reforging will further increase the item's power, like the powerfulness of the reforge, but fundamental reforging will mean that we cannot repair the item. The item just cannot be repaired, but the stats and modifications that we get on the item are going to be very powerful. And then we've got integral that we can select afterwards, and this is just going to give us an increased durability to the item. Lastly, we've got Grand Artifice, we've got Inspired Artifice, Exalted, and Sublime. Now, as you can see, as I've selected these options, a new menu's popped up. Oop, no. There we go. A new menu popped up. Choose a name number 1. Arcane of Wizardry. This is one that I've just been using previously. So we click in here, it's given us all these different names and all these different things. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. If we click on Sublime, it gives us a second name. This is the prefix and suffix of the weapon. Of the item. So it's basically going to name it. What you'll find whenever you found loot is you might get an arcane tunic of wizardry, for example. Well, that's the prefix and suffix. Arcane being the prefix, of wizardry the suffix. Gives you an idea of what sort of things we're going to get. Now luckily, on the UO guide, there's actually a big list of what each of these names are going to give you. So Mighty of Vitality is going to give you things like hit points, strength, life leech if it was a weapon, you know, that sort of thing. Of fortune, auspicious of fortune, that's going to give us luck, and a lot of luck. In fact, with the horned runic kit, if you select auspicious of fortune twice, this will actually allow you to get the possibility of getting 150 luck on the item. And this is how most crafters will make their max luck suits. And we will look at making one in a future video where we go through the process of creating a max luck suit for a mage. In this example, let's go with Arcane of Wizardry, like what was selected before. Arcane of Wizardry is going to give us the chance to roll with mana increase, intelligence bonus, low mana cost, mana regeneration, and LRC. It's going to give us a chance to roll on those. Now, we're not able to, unlike Imbuing, we're not able to dictate what those properties are going to be. Reforging is going to just roll the dice and give us whatever rolls. The difference between reforging an item and imbuing an item is we have the possibility of getting much higher than what we can imbue through reforging. So let's just roll the dice. We're going to use all of these. We're going to have the name on number 1. We're going to have the name on number 2. This is going to use a total of 5 charges. But this item is going to be quite powerful. So at the minute it's just a regular leather tunic. And now we've got 10 mana regen, 10 mana increase, 4 mana regeneration that's been added on there. Now that wasn't a very good roll, to be truthful. I've seen much better from using those prefix and suffix, so let's give it another go. This is going to use another 5 charges. Well, this time we got 4 intelligence, 9 mana, 3 mana regen, and 7 low mana cost. That's not too bad. So as you can see, we've got the intelligence bonus. We can't get that through imbuing. We've got 9 mana increase. Well, we can only get a maximum of 8 through imbuing. We've got 3 mana regen. Again, we can only get a maximum of 2 through imbuing. And we've got 7 lower mana cost, which we can get that through imbuing. So we've gained quite a bit of stats there. Now this would be great for a wizard or somebody who needs a lot of mana and intelligence and mana regen, possibly even a scribe. Just get a nice boost to mana and things. But we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 item properties on there. So if we wanted to, we can open up the imbuing menu and we could put some we could put some LRC on there as well. Because we've only got 4 properties. But we can put our 5th one on through imbuing. And you can see here the total property weight, 429 out of 500. So you can see all of those modifications are quite heavy. Which means we would only be able to put 15 LRC on there if we wanted to imbue it on there. And we have a 13.6% chance to succeed. So we're going to fill that quite a bit. This will give you an idea of what you can do with imbuing and reforging together. You can reforge to get some overcapped stats, and then if you're missing anything like the resists, or maybe even you wanted to add on another property, you can do that through imbuing. So together, reforging and imbuing, you can get some very powerful things. We've had a look at leather. Now let's just have a look at what we can do with some of these hammers. Let's make a weapon, and let's try reforging a weapon. Let me just grab some ingots. There we go. And an axe. Let's go with a double axe. Double axe is always good. Now I have 3 types of hammer. I have a copper hammer, a bronze hammer, and I have a valorite hammer. And in fact, I'm going to make 3 axes because I want to use these as an example. Depending on the type of hammer or sewing kit used will dictate how powerful an item will be. So copper, bronze, valorite, we're going up through the ingot, through the all types. You can also get spined and barbed leather sewing kits, and again, spined isn't going to be as powerful as horned, and barbed's going to be much more powerful than horned. So depending on the kit or the type of runic used, you can get varying degrees of power. So let's have a look at this one. Let's go with I don't know. Let's go with maybe slaughter and vampire. So we're going for a vicious of slaughter and vampiric of the vampire double axe. Both of these mods are going to give us varying properties. The vicious of slaughter prefix and suffix is going to give us the option of potentially getting a hit spell, a hit area, a hit chance increase, a damage increase, or battle lust. Which one we're going to get? Don't know. It's all down to roll of the dice. And the vampiric of the vampire prefix suffix is going to give us access to leeches, so we can get mana leech, life leech, stamina leech, mana drain, hip fatigue, or blood drinker. So let's just roll it and see what we get. Alright, so we randomly got a poison elemental slayer, and we got mana leech. That's not too bad. Let's try this with a slightly more powerful hammer. We're going to use the exact same mods, so we're going to go with slaughter, and then we're going to go with of the vampire. Well, this time we've got quite a bit more. We've got hit magic arrow 54%, hit stamina leech 70%, hit fatigue 49%, and we've got battle lust. That's not bad. Now let's go with valorite. Valorite is the strongest hammer you can get. Valorite can give you a lot of modifications and a lot of strength behind them as well. So let's go with this. We've got vampiric of vampire, vicious of slaughter. Let's reforge. Now look at all those mods. We've got a lot of mods there. So we've got Fireball, hit physical area, hit stamina leech, hit life leech, mana drain, battle lust. We've got all those different modifications. So we compare that to the copper runic hammer, which only gave us two properties. The bronze hammer, which gave us 4 properties. Now the Valorite one has given us 6 properties. The more powerful the hammer that you use, or tool that you use, the more properties you're capable of getting. And this would apply to all of the runic tools. I'm only using blacksmithing and tailoring here as examples, but you can also get ones for carpentry, and you can also get ones for fletching, and you can get ones for, well actually no, the tinkering ones would fall under blacksmithing. So you can make whips through tinkering, you can reforge them through blacksmithing. So that's how the reforge process would go. Some great examples of what you can do with reforging is you can use certain hammers in order to get 100% elemental weapons that have got no modifiers on them at all. And those can be used, those are very good for vampires. You can use horned runic kits to make max look suits for various different types of character builds, whether that's an archer or whether it's a mage. You can do all of that. You can reforge shields to get some of the properties that you couldn't get through imbuing. So for example, let's make a metal shield, and let's use our bronze runic hammer. Let's pick Vicious of Slaughter would give us hit chance, and Animated of Haste has the possibility of giving us swing speed. Oh, there we go. 15% hit chance on a shield. Now we can't imbue hit chance, but we can imbue defense chance. And we can go up to 15% as well. So that would give us a 15% hit chance, 15% defense chance shield. So this is a good way of making some custom shields. Normally a lot of people would rely on finding them as loot, and a lot of the time that can come with things like brittle, or it can come with mods that you don't want. Using the Reforge system, you're able to get maybe not exactly the exact properties that you want, but you're able to get very close, and you can finish that off with imbuing. So again, going back to what I said earlier, using the reforging system and then imbuing, very, very good. Now, one thing I'm going to point out before everybody else shouts at me: before you imbue anything, always use your powder of fort. If it's an item that you intend to keep long term, use powder of fortifying. The reason for this is anything that you imbue, you cannot apply powder of fortifying afterwards. You have to do it beforehand. It essentially adds the brittle tag to it when you imbue an item. You can no longer use powder of fortifying. Make sure to do it before you imbue. If I had £1 for every time I had imbued an item when I didn't mean to, or I hadn't applied powder of fort, I'd be a very rich man. That essentially covers everything we need to know about reforging. In the next section, we're going to look at some of these, and these are the refinements. So I'll get my inventory cleaned up again, and we'll have a look at what we can do with refinements.